Oh, okay. Good evening from here. Good morning to some of us whose time is on morning hour, and of course, good afternoon to some of us also who are observing their afternoon hours. I am Mazi Chika Austin, and of course, with no apology to anyone, I am a Biafran, and of course, a very proud student under the leadership of Mazin Kano, irrespective of our opinions. I go by the word of EHK that says opinions are free, but facts are sacred. So I remain whom I am, and the Most High is on the throne. No doubt about it. It doesn't matter. One thing every one of us must understand is that nothing comes easy. Very, very important to understand that. Nothing good comes easy. And also, darkness might spring up as much as she wants. But remember, it has a short lifespan. That is just the way it is. Please confirm if you're listening, hearing us loud and clear. If you're receiving us loud and clear, then we advance into the background events, the things that are really happening, but most of us are being carried away by a lot of international developments. If you're receiving us loud and clear, please do notify us on the comment box, and we must try as much as possible to make a serious discussion. It's unfortunate that Facebook have denied us access to our Facebook accounts. That's why I could not post all this. Why? Pending on the next 10 days or 11 days, they said their restriction will expire. So then I will be posting, I will be putting forth my analysis on articles. I've been restricted, that's why I can't post anything. It seems nothing is happening on my wall. But, oh, so sorry. Somebody said my voice is so low, and some other person said my voice is loud, that he can hear me loud and clear. So I think confirm if Mazi Goodman Chinyere said my voice is low. Please, if you can hear us loud and clear, do endeavor to say Lilian on we saying your voice is low, please increase it. Please confirm if you can still hear. Okay, somebody says good now. Yes, it's good now. Okay, we must move on. Like I was saying, Facebook try as much as possible to restrict us. That's why I cannot post all this. Why? The pending the 10 or 11 days they said they are going to give me access to post on my wall. Sometime they allow me to come here on audio or visual, and sometimes they also don't allow that. But in the next 11 days, according to their notifications, I will be free to be coming online. Please, I would want the topic we are discussing tonight to be followed up with questions. So you might not call me because there's no line made available for you to call in, but whenever you type in your questions in line with what we are discussing this evening, definitely I will try my best to respond, because I am reading all our comments. So comments from every angle, from the good, the bad, and the ugly, will definitely be attended to. Very, very important. So a lot of things have been happening, and we are being, our attentions are being allocated to a lot of international developments, and too many things that are happening. You can't just, it's never easy for COVID-19. You talk about the NSAS protest, you talk about the post-NSAS protest, which is killings and the ongoing dramas in the name of panels of investigations and all this. Then you come out and talk about the United States election. Then somehow the election, after the election, the post-election developments, we are seeing a high rate of irregularities, evidences of irregularities, fraud, electoral fraud, and a lot of disturbing issues coming out from United States. And somehow, because of that, a lot of us don't know what is happening at the background, but it's very, very important. We must educate our people, because I don't know whether too many of us have ever taken the notice of the just concluded meeting between United States and Nigeria on United States mobilizing a lot of her allies all over the world to join on the forthcoming military operation against the terrorists in Nigeria. I know most of you don't know much about this, because we have been clouded with the election in United States, the post-election developments. I know everyone is just talking about what will happen in America. Who is likely? Is Biden going to? But we don't understand other developments that are really taking place. This is really what I want us to discuss this evening. But before that, because issues or the social developments are interconnected, we are not going to talk about the forthcoming military operation in Nigeria, international coalition forces military operation in Nigeria. We are not going to talk it separately from United States election because they are all interconnected. Take note of that. And I would also want to say, this is my personal view, and I think like millions of people who are airing out their opinions in respect to the U.S. election. So far, so good. My evidences and my attempts to couple a lot of evolving stories, evolving development. It is obvious that the Democrats, Joe Biden, are not really going to have a safe landing, because what we are seeing happening in the post-election day development is really disturbing. I think we are going to have, this is my personal opinion, make no mistake about this, I said it earlier. I think we are having a kind of this is where the whole thing is moving. This is a dimension at which it's moving. We are now having a Joe Biden that was happy few days ago as a result of media projection, to a Joe Biden and Democrats that are going to play a defensive card, because remember, all the frauds, all the irregularities we are seeing happening now, somebody will definitely be held accountable. Take note of that. So we are now seeing the media trying to play smart. Even the media, we are not seeing that even the media that did a lot of these projections deceptively are now beginning to review their stand, having known that all might not really end well for them. There is a kind of a soft reconfiguration of storylines from president-elect to projected president. People are trying to be careful with their languages, haven't seen the dimension things are really happening. That is not really what they expected to happen. It was not really what they projected to happen. They are now seeing that everything seems to be backfiring from, few days of excitement to future pains and penuries. I think that is what I'm really seeing in the camp of the Democrats. There is a quiet jittering. Somebody is on panic mood. Somebody is feeling that his illicit behavior, so to say, or his illegal acts are going to be called up. And you know what that means? That might really be a demise of a lot of Democrats politicians and even the party itself. So it's really a damaging one, because they never knew that the GOPs are going to, relaunch a severe investigation so soon. Nobody expected that. Nobody expected what is happening. It was just like everyone felt that it was going to be a walk away. They would just do their things and use a media pressure and a lot of giant companies to put pressure on the GOPs and the president to accept the outcome or the projected result. That was the whole impression. They felt by the time they activate vicious circle pressure on the GOPs, on the president, then he will throw into the ploy. But unfortunately, and also a deep concern to a lot of international players, the president absorbed the pressure And he is now launching a devastating counter attack, which is really, really, really a disturbing one to Joe Biden, because it's going to kill his career. I must say, it's going to shut down a lot of media houses, because somebody will be held accountable for the fraud we are seeing that are being on earth every day. You can see Georgia is calling for manual recounting. A lot of counties we saw the Democrats taking over, and now after pressure for recounting, we are now seeing the GOPs taking over. So it's really embarrassing. It's really, really embarrassing. It's really, really heartbreaking. So that is just the way it is. That is just the way it is. So that's not minding, because a lot of things are happening. The Republicans have from today to 8th of December to finish up their legal filings, and believe you me, the filings are really, really on the high side, contrary to the expectations of the Democrats and a lot of people. The way the Republicans are marshalling out legal filings, and also a lot of evidences. There are hundreds of thousands of affidavits currently, people who are ready to testify under oath over what they observed in the polling station. And mind you, the shocking part of it is that those majority of these guys who sworn an affidavit of testimony are not really just voters. These are officials of the electoral bodies. These are individuals who participated. They watched their supervisors committing electoral fraud, and they have the pictorial and video evidences. So by the time the court starts sitting and there is publication of evidences, I think the world might really be on fire, because you can't just imagine that United States courts will be loaded at international coverage. How United States officials of United States government committed electoral fraud. Do you know what that means? So it's really, really, really a concern to these guys who took part in this, because a court procedure will definitely get to a point at which we call cross-examination stage, where it will definitely get to a point we call cross-examination stage, a point where the evidences will be, the SBs will be cross-examined. And just imagine what it will look like, that the world will be watching series of court sittings in the United States, playing videos of how officials of U.S. electoral bodies aided and abetted electoral fraud in 21st century. Is unbelievable. It is unbelievable. So these guys who really messed the noble image of United States currently are jittering. They are in a serious panic, because they know that man, Donald Trump, I look at this as a trap. He just want to kill the party called Democrats Party. I think this is how, my personal opinion, don't get it twisted. I'm seeing this as a siege. He laid a trap in order to destroy Democrats once and for all, and it's really shocking. So that is by the way. Anyway, let us advance to the topic of today. Let us just move to the topic of today, and which is the coalition forces that Nigerian government have given a green light to launch a military operation and other necessary operations against the terrorists in Nigeria. Most people, if you have been a follower of our analysis years before now, We keep on telling you that a day like this will come. But you know what? Each time we try to analyze using our numerous evidences to project or to point your attention to where the future is coming. Some people say I could remember some persons said to my face, they said, you are giving a false hope. Yes, we were accused, we were maligned, there were a lot of unprintable words allotted on us. But nevertheless, he never depraved us, because we understand this very fact that opinions are free and facts are sacred. And this is where we are getting to. Nigeria have been a proud nation. Make no mistake about that. The political class in Nigeria always believe that no foreign country can penetrate Nigeria. There can't be any foreign intervention, military intervention of any kind. But we keep on telling you years back that genes is going to be broken. We told you that pride, which does not have foundation, will definitely be weakened. And what are you seeing today? For your information, for those of us who don't know, there was a meeting convened by US and Nigerian government on how international coalition forces will intervene in Nigeria militarily against the terrorists and Boko Haram. And I'm going to tell you where everything is going to lead, because we told you it's going to happen. We told you that a day like this will come. Years back. What we are going to tell you also, whether you want to take it to the heart or not, is where the whole thing is going to land. And I'm also going to tell you why you see this final onslaught on IPOB, whether you like it or not. What is most important to us is that it does not in any way affect us or disturb us when we see people spilling out educated ignorance. I think that word might sound funny. You might be educated, but you're ignorant of an issue. It doesn't, when you're trying to spill out what you think contrary to the reality and facts, it does not in any way disturb us, because we know that the world does not revolve by mere opinions. What revives the world is solid principles laid down by nature. So, all this while, most of us don't know that Nigeria have been under severe pressure for her to condescend to a point of allowing United States and her coalition allies to enter Nigeria. This has been a heavy pressure. Nigeria have been on this severe pressure. And let me tell you one thing most of you don't know. There have been this fight have been so severe that most guys don't understand this fight. What is this fight? Let me tell you this fight. This fight is between IPOB and the Nigerian government. The fight I'm talking is not a Weke, aka Operation Python dance. I'm talking about what we call the mainstreaming fight. And this fight is this. Listen to this fight. Nigerian government, the current Nigerian government understands that there is activities of terrorist organizations in Nigeria. She knows that, but she tries as much as possible to downplay it. She does not want the world to know about it. She does not want the world to see it as a global concern. She does not want the world to develop interest in curbing the activities of these terrorists. Nigerian government does not want it. That's why she did everything linguistically, economically, and diplomatically to give a coverage, to spray a blanket on the activities of these terrorists. How did she do that? Listen and listen very carefully, because what we are talking here is beyond some of these eras. They don't understand it, and they don't expect them to understand it. How did Nigerian government use the tool of downplaying, trying to suppress the world knowing about these terrorist activities? One, the government came and said that these guys are repenting, thereby directly telling the world that no need of fighting them. Rather, the world should give them opportunity to repent, that there is already a process of them repenting. And guess what? Nigerian government and the Nigerian military initiated what they call rehabilitation and reintegration program for this so-called, the people they said they were repented Boko Haram. As if that was not enough, they started using what we call christening, or soft nomenclature appendages. I will explain what I'm saying. Apart from rehabilitation and reintegration, she decided to use what we call christening, or what I personally call soft nomenclature appendages. What does it say? What is it all about? They began to change names of these terrorists. From Boko Haram, they started calling them bandits. From ISILs, they started saying that they were cow rustlers. They were headers. They were bandits. Do you know what they were trying to do? To downplay the gravity of the identity of this terrorist, thereby trying to tell the world that you don't need to bother of coming to help. These are just mere criminal activities. This was what they spent money trying to internationalize. They spent extensively to mainstream this cause. But guess what? Only IPOB, I repeat, only IPOB stood on the ground to fight against this strategy and approach of Nigerian government. How did IPOB did it? IPOB did that by making sure that every single act performed by these terrorists are mainstreamed, are internationalized, and projected as they are and should be projected. It's a costly project. That's why when people say, what has IPOB achieved? And I look at them, because somebody whose entire life attended university that he ought to have graduated within 4 years, ended up graduating 6 years as a result of incessant ASU strike, no electricity. He lives in a hostel where mosquito bites on a high side, no library, no access to internet. Then you expect such a person to move beyond peripheral articulations. It can never happen. It's not magic. So when people say, what have IPOB? I look at them. As far as the world war science is concerned, as far as the arithmetic of war science is concerned, there are two kinds of war, what we call conventional warfare and asymmetric warfare. Now, when you look at asymmetric warfare, when you break it down, you can now see different approaches or subsections inherent in asymmetric warfare. So you might not see IPOB on the trenches, which you know as a conventional war system. But guess what? Look at asymmetric pattern of warring, media war, and all the rest of them. She's actively engaging. And of course, it is only nwanyị na-ere ogiri ma iji anya kpọrọ. Only the woman that sells the ogiri, that sells ogiri, knows the fly with blind eyes. It's as simple as that. What do I mean? It was only when you're schooled, tutored, when hunger in Nigeria or lack of electricity, lack of good road, lack of health care, and above all, lack of job must have finished dealing with you or must have left you alone. That is when you will now start engaging your mind constructively. Because someone who is still talking about what to eat, what to drink, how to clothe, a job, how will he even engage his mind on the statecraft? He cannot. So when we are talking about this, sometimes it sounds like, rocket science to most people. It sounds like rocket science. Now, back to what I was trying to say. IPOB engaged Nigerian government on this war. When Nigerian government was trying to downplay the activities of these terrorists by the application of rehabilitation, reintegration, christening, or what I called soft application of nomenclatures. So, IPOB heated her on that front. You saw their testimonies. The Gabashew said it repeatedly, wrote extensively how IPOB have been lobbying the world over the activities of terrorists and persecution of Christians. Gabashew said it, in fact, mentioned the amount, the alleged amount IPOB was disbursing internationally. And guess what? They did everything they could to suppress IPOB, to stop IPOB from internationalizing, from mainstreaming, from bringing to the consciousness of the world the evils, the terrorism in Nigeria. Now, let me now tell you something you must quickly understand. Why Nigeria government does not want the world to know? Because they know that any day the world realizes that there are terrorist activities in Nigeria, that the world will intervene. Listen. In fact, how I wish you can gather these eras on this evening, this evening program, so that they can understand. Because what we are talking here is beyond UNAWO knowledge or beyond the ASU strike products. Now, they understand that any day the world sees the activities of terrorist organizations in Nigeria, and let me tell you for your information also, they understand that any day the world realizes that international peace and security is growing strongly, threat to international peace and security is growing strongly in Nigeria, that the world will intervene. And these Fulani Kabas understand that there is no country that have experienced international coalition forces that remain the same. They are not stupid like your so-called Igbo politicians. They are not naive. They are not gullible. They are not empty brain. For those of you who say these guys are not smart, you don't know. You are far from reality. They are really smart. They know that there is no country, and I stand to be challenged. There is no country that have experienced international military coalition forces led by United States that remain the same. Absolutely no. Quote me wrong. Show me example. A country that have seen foreign soldiers passing across that remain the same. No country. Not just on the modern history, even on the ancient history. That is how nature made it. Even when Israel was passing through other nations to go to the promised land, go and study your Bible. Those countries they passed through never remained the same. And so it is when you allow external military forces to touch your foot. So the Fulanis understand it, that any day they allow foreign coalition forces to enter Nigeria in any guise, no matter the reason, no matter the aim, that day Nigeria is gone. Their hegemonic grip on Nigeria is gone. And that's why when IPOB was seriously calling for this, was seriously calling the attention of the world on this, the Fulanis felt, especially the Fulani control Nigeria, current Nigerian government, felt that the worst threat they are facing in the world is not COVID-19, is not the economic downtrodden, it is not the famine, rather it is the indigenous people of Biafra, not even Boko Haram. Because they understand the implication of what IPOB was calling for, which is for international attention on Nigeria. They understand how dangerous it is. And guess what? They did everything they could, use internal and external influence to niche IPOB, to bring to an end IPOB. But unfortunately to them, what man can destroy is what man founded. No man has ability to destroy what God founded. You can just imagine. Jesus Christ told Paul, he said, it is so hard to kick against the brick. Say it is hard to kick against the brick. And you could see in all their persecutions, in all their attempts to demonize, in all their attempts to close IPOB, it looks as if now a woman. And guess what? Nigeria currently have submitted. She has finally felt it within the trap. And go and write it down. Nigeria will not remain the same. It doesn't matter how you think it. Whether you call it conspiracy theory, you call it just go and don't eat any grammar. I'm just giving you what is to come. So you can now understand what we are talking about. Now they have submitted to the international pressure. US summoned them, of course, and told them that you cannot stop us from entering. And for your information, for especially those who don't understand how it plays out, this is international coalition. About 83 countries have identified to join the military operation. And I'm going to tell you what that means. Over 83 countries now have identified to join the upcoming international military forces that are going to land in Nigeria. They have identified. And you know what that means? Go and study Iraq. Go and study a lot of Middle Eastern countries and American military intervention. How they were before American came in, how they were during Americans' presence, and how they are after America left. Then when you study it, you can now come back and understand or appreciate what we are saying. So, because America took all this time to put pressure on those countries that Nigeria would have easily ran to. You know, I keep telling people, forget United Nations. United Nations is a toothless bulldog. For your information, this coalition you're seeing coming to Nigeria does not have endorsement of United Nations. It's United States initiative. US mobilize her friends, and they are already here. In fact, the funniest thing that happened to Abuja that made Abuja to yield is that when Abuja went and felt he could play Arab politics or meeting the Muslim countries, before they realized it, they discovered that even the Muslim countries they felt would have stand against US military plan against Nigeria. That they now realize that even the same Muslim countries are already friends to Israel, are already rappelling with US, are even more interested on how to get technology from Israel and the US, not even Nigeria interest. That these countries are not even interested to play the religious card. Saudi Arabia has continued with life. In UAE, you can drink alcohol now, their new law, in public place. You can even fly into UAE and sleep in the same room with even person that is not your wife against Islamic Sharia law. These countries are no longer Sharia-ing around. They have left those things and they have continued with the reality of today. Guess what? When Nigeria got and they realized that these countries have just, they are now even secular, moving towards secular state, secular system. They are no longer, imbibing with, or crazy about that Muslim fraternizations and all this. And Nigeria came back and submitted. You can hear she co-hosted the coalition with US. Yeah, she co-hosted the coalition with US. Now let me shock you. US said that they are going to fight with every two. Listen, US said they are going to fight with their every two at their disposal. That is what US said. Do you know the implication? Now, US has neither have their coalition, take it or you leave it. Take this thing or you leave it. US understands that she must work with local structures. That is how US cannot come to Nigeria and change. Listen to what I'm going to say next. The Fulanis also understand that US will definitely work with local alliance. She will work with a local structure. Do you know what they did? Listen. Hey. Do you know what they did? They summoned all your governors and started telling them to criminalize IPOB. Because their fear now is that there is no existing structure that US is likely going to work with except IPOB. Because IPOB is well structured, that what she needs is just little assistance from these coalition forces, and she will be formidable, more sophisticated. So they have checked all these things, and that danger looms. There is a problem because US will definitely identify a local structure to work with. And what you're seeing them putting pressure on the likes of Yesowike to, kill anybody that calls himself an IPOB, whatever, and there is prescribe upon prescribing, the essence of that, listen. They are doing all these things to make sure two things, that either they stop IPOB or either they make IPOB to fizzle away, so that when US began to look for local structures, they can present a new local structure that can work with US and thereby make money, because this thing is all about, you should understand, so that they can raise a group or youth and say, US, with these people, you can have a partnership and fight the terrorists and merchandise. Because they understand that if US works with IPOB, it will likely going to lead to what happened in Iraq, where US worked with the Kurdish group. And today, Kurdistan is standing strongly on their own in Iraq. That Iraq central government cannot push them anyhow. And that they understand. So, all they are fighting now, from now till next few months, you will be seeing clamp down on IPOB. Because they understand how standing of IPOB is going to pose a serious threat to them. And this is all the panic you're seeing. And on another hand, they are not trying to destroy anything that has a front. I will explain to you. Because they have lost the international battle on the side of IPOB. Finally, they could not survive international pressure. They have yielded in to allow foreign coalition forces to enter. Nigeria have signed officially because she could not withstand international pressure from West, you know. Do you know what they are now doing? Having failed, they are now lately, although they are coming late, they are now lately trying to see how they will cage the local structure. Anything that have a group, if you have a group of 10 people, federal government will run to you now, either to bribe you or to proscribe you. You can see they are now proscribing all the NSAS group, that they are terrorist group. Do you know what they are afraid of? They don't want any front that US might likely develop interest to fight with. They don't want that. They want people to be in a directionless mode, in a leaderless mood. Permit me to use that word. In a mood that no guide, no structure, so that even though when US comes and US decide to look for local structure to work with, as they did in Iraq, as they did in Syria, where they are working with Syrian cause, then they cannot, these criminals, call your politician, cannot present their vigilante boys and hand over to US. And guess what? The vigilante boys, because they don't even know where they are going to, can only act the script of the politicians. So all they are doing, because they are afraid that with having lost international pressure on the side of IPOB and then they can, that the best thing they would do is to make sure they destroy IPOB before the first US military jet lands in Nigeria, or the first US military surgical bombardment in Nigeria takes place. That IPOB must go down. And that's why you see them, so they will leave Elugu, run to rivers and be shouting, "Wike Kaigesu, Wike Kaigesu." Eji anyome eboka white o. Eji anyome eboka white. They are just confused. They are just confused. All they are looking at now is that if you can help us and destroy IPOB, we will identify with you. You know, so it's just like ara nabazi hanine. They don't even, there is nothing they are seeing again. Is how do we cleanse these people? How do we uproot this movement? So that when US comes and her coalition forces, they will not have any structure. They will not have these people to work with. But you know how myopic some of these guys are. They refuse to understand that when you hear IPOB is not the people you're seeing home or only. They're all over the world, coordinating, engaging, and all this. You know. So what am I trying to say? When you see what is happening in Rivers State, all boils down to what is to come. If we had told you that Nigeria will accept foreign coalition forces in her land. Some of you would have said, like the way we are telling you months ago, years ago. Some of you are saying we are talking rubbish. Some of them were insulting us. But behold, it's here before your doorstep. Behold, it is. And mind you, for your information, US is not going to fight the terrorists only not. Remember earlier before now, they have given an intel that the terrorists are moving down south. And the US needs partnership in south to fight these guys. That is all I will say this evening. If you want to understand, understand. If you don't want to understand, but that is just it. That is just it. It does not in any way concern us. We are telling you what is to come so that whether you like it or not, it will definitely come. Do you understand me? Makana, adeti yose no gwanya. We are just making it clear to you. Because what is to come, all these guys are just living in fears. The governors, you see them, is just, they don't know what to do. They're just confused. So you must remain strong. And above all, watchful and prayerful. From here, I want to say, may Okike bless us and above all grant us much wisdom. Bless our leader, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Bless everyone working for the freedom of his people. And above all, give us divine protection. From here, I want to say good night and do enjoy yourself.